In this video, I'm going to walk you through the design process I went through in designing my embroidery piece. I'm also going to talk about ideas I had for making an embroidery piece look more interesting, and we're going to talk about materials and textures and different types of embroidery stitches we can use to make a piece look more complex. And then I'm going to talk about websites you can go to find color palettes and color schemes, and also materials that come in assortments that will help you to put together a design quickly and beautifully. So here is my design so far. If you missed it, I stitched this gold star in another video, which I will post very soon. This stitch is called the fulfilling stitch, and you can check it out. Anyways, so this is my design in progress. My initial idea is to have a bunch of stars, and to make it more interesting, I would kind of vary the size and the shape. So you see this one's a 5-pointed star, this one is 6, and my thought is to have the background just to cover more area, is to have it like dot stitches in metallic blue and metallic silver thread, and to kind of vary them in, you know, some areas are more concentrated, some areas are more sparse, and that'll give it some variety to make it look more interesting. And it'll kind of start to look like a night sky. So you see here I've got a navy blue silk organza background, and say I stitch all the stars onto there, I mean, it's going to look pretty flat and boring because it's just all one color and one material. So what I want to do is, what I'm thinking is to put maybe this area and maybe that area. I'm going to stitch with a dark navy thread and maybe black, just to kind of give it some variation. I'm going to stitch a trellis stitch, which looks like this. It's crisscrossing threads, and they're stitched together by, I mean, in this one they have a horizontal lavender thread here to hold it together. What I plan to do is, instead of this magenta, I'm going to use the dark navy and black threads so that it kind of blends in with the background fabric, but it still kind of gives it some texture to make it look interesting. And instead of the lavender colored holding stitch, I'm going to use the metallic blue and silver threads. And I mean, I'm not going to stitch it regularly. I'm going to stitch it like a plus sign, so vertical and horizontal holding stitch. And I probably, just to make it look like the night sky, I'll probably stitch, you know, a bunch of silver in one area and then leave part of it just unstitched so that it's dark, and then another area in silver or metallic blue. And in that way, it'll start to look like a night sky. And another variation for the design, which I thought of, is I'm going to take some of this, I have some black silk organza here, and then I have some kind of grayish, bluish organza. And I'll probably cut it up into little pieces and kind of crinkle it, and then kind of sew patches of it on just to give it more variation and make it look more interesting. So here I've gone on stitchpalettes.com and I looked up blue palettes, and I found this one, which kind of resembles what I want to do. And the nice thing about these color palette generators is that someone else thought of which colors to put together. And they also give you the DMC thread code, so you can just go and look it up and buy it. and you have an instant colors theme, which all the colors are harmonious, they'll look good together. You don't have to think about it unless you've studied color theory. So instead of the dark brown, I'm going to have gold thread, and I'll probably use different types of gold color thread. There's pearl and the couching gold thread, which I'll probably use too, just to give it a variation in size and colors and texture. And I'll probably also use a silver metallic thread, and these will be kind of contrasted against the blue. So you see here's the white. I mean, instead of white, I'm going to have silver and gold. You just need something that kind of is very different from the other color, and that will act as an accent. So these accents kind of bring your eye, the attention of your eye to where it is. And it also brings out the dark blue, because here it's a very nice harmonious color combination. So this is what I plan to do, and this is how you would find your color schemes. Now, in terms of finding threads, I know DMC cotton threads are kind of dull. They are cheaper though. I mean, it's only like $1 a skein. But if you want something more fancy with a higher quality material, there's also these color packs that they have at thefrenchneedle.com. And this one comes with, I mean, this is a duller silk thread. This one is thicker and more shiny. And this one is kind of a shiny but dull type of silk thread. So it's somewhere in between this and this. And here's the metallic blue thread that I plan to use for the stars. So if you're a beginner and you can't really think of, how to find these different materials to mix together and give your design a little bit more, variation to make it look more interesting, you can go to these websites and find these color packs. So another place that I found is here on Etsy. They also have arranged some, silk ribbons together along with silk threads, and there's different color combinations. For me, I plan to use this blue one. So I'll get the metallic blue thread, also get a lighter blue thread here and a black. I think it will be good. And I don't have to think about finding specific colors. I mean, that's very time consuming. And if you really want to just throw together a design, this is a really quick and simple way to do it. So I'll put all the links below for these websites in the description. And I hope this was informative.